What's the secret of your radiant, glowing forehead?
Amazing. I'm the master of breath. And I love deep breathing when I exercise. That's my high. The secret is just a copy paste.
So, shifting gears a bit now, I want to know about your mom's cancer reversal story. I remember you mentioning to me once that she had stage 4,
But there is a chance that on the surgery table, she may not survive.
and I was so disappointed because I was like, how can doctors tell you eat everything? They go through the trauma and we consume that energy. How is that even good for us in any way?
Okay, so 10 commandments of holistic health. Commandment number 1.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of That Healing Feeling with Neha Ranglani. And I'm really excited that you have clicked on this episode because it only shows that you are ready to embrace graceful aging and unlock your best self. Let's face it, aging is inevitable, but aging gracefully is a choice. And I want to introduce you to someone who embodies timeless vitality. My guest for today is a pioneer and a legend in the health and wellness world with over 4 decades of experience, 45 years to be precise. And he is a man of many talents. He's also an author of 7 inspiring books with his latest, Sannyas in the City. From working with prestigious institutions like Tata Memorial and Jaslok Hospital to now launching his app Antar.digital, he is making holistic healing accessible worldwide. He's a visionary, a poet, and a true wellness icon, and he's here to share his wisdom with us today. I'm so happy to have Dr. Mehta joining us on our first episode of That Healing Feeling with Neha Ranglani. So, welcome, Mickey, in my first episode of That Healing Feeling with Neha Ranglani, and I'm so honored to have you.
And I'm feeling privileged.
When I decided I wanted to start my own podcast, I knew no one better than you could kick it off for me.
I'm
And
so grateful.
yeah, it had to be you because I want to pick your brains about the wisdom that you've accumulated in the 45 years of your experience in the health and wellness
Thank you.
industry.
Thank you.
So, what do I call you? Should I call you Sir? Should
No,
I
no.
call you Mickey G?
Mickey Mouse in the
Dr.
house.
Mickey?
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That's cute. So, Mickey, tell me, first of all, I want to start with this very important question that I've been dying to ask you. What's the secret of your radiant, glowing forehead? I think I've asked you that many times
Yeah.
and you've always laughed it off. But is it a special cream or a magical serum or some skincare ritual that you're hiding? And I want you to spill the tea today for all of us.
So, of course, lots of yoga, lots of Ayurveda, but fundamentally, breathing.
Breathing.
Amazing. I'm a master of breath.
Wow.
And I love deep breathing when I exercise. That's my high. And most people don't even realize they suffer from hypoxia.
Yeah.
Literally, very poor oxygen quality in the tissues, in the lungs.
Yeah.
So, sustenance of life, and they age very fast.
Yeah.
So, you breathe well, and aging stalls.
Yeah.
And you can begin to reverse as well. So, with the kind of breathing and the kind of fitness activity that I do, I think at 63, my anatomy is like 36.
Yeah.
My physiology is also like 36 biology.
Yeah.
And I don't feel 63 at all because it's in your attitude.
Absolutely.
When you're extremely mobile, agile, and you have good enough strength to walk around at least,
Yeah.
you're good. You don't need to move boulders and do heavyweight training.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Do you believe in heavyweight lifting?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to. As a black belt of martial arts way back in 1980,
Yeah.
I used to have arms so big, forearms so big.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen you that way. I've never even seen your picture. I've always seen you so
Yeah, yeah.
lean, fit,
Yeah.
and you don't look your age for sure.
Then realizing the futility of size, then I realized that, okay, strength is perishable,
Right.
but energy perpetuates. So then the focus on subtleties of life. So yoga came in, swimming came in, meditation came in, and then of course, the constant evolution, changing and reinventing with time, it happened. I just feel so blessed because when I started literally,
Yeah.
I was the first one on the bike in the mornings. Today at 6 o'clock, you see 100 guys
Yes.
moving around on scooties and bikes,
Yes.
going for training. And I look at them because I still go out for coaching people.
Right.
I look at them and smile. And if on signals, I, get a hand out, wish them good luck, ask
Right.
their names, and try to connect
Yeah.
with as many people.
Motivate them like you do
Yeah, yeah.
for many others.
Yeah, I just like to meet people.
Yeah,
And
you are an absolute inspiration.
thank you.
And now that you said you started about 45 years back,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would go out on the bike. I want to ask you, when you started off, there was no health and wellness industry.
Yeah,
You
there
know,
was
I
no
mean,
industry.
there was no industry
Yeah,
because people back then would eat right, would sleep on time, would live a fairly healthy life.
yeah.
So, did you have a crystal ball?
No, no, not at all. I believe that, of course, many things in life are preordained.
Yeah.
So that's your genetic skill sets, talents, what you come with, what you culture, cultivate, and hone thereafter. And maybe there are trigger points in life. So for me, the trigger points were two boarding schools back to back in Nasik.
Oh,
So one boarding school gave me the orientation of physical fitness, sports, mental disciplining. The other boarding school, which was Boys Town Public School, gave me a lot of spiritual insights and a lot of spiritual inculcation. So the first one was Bhosle Military, second one was Boys Town. And both together, hand in hand, went. So if you ask what is health and wellness, so in short, one can say it is yin yang.
yeah.
It is hatha, yoga. It is positive, negative. It is a confluence of two energies, harmonized,
Yeah.
not conflicting but complementing each other.
Absolutely.
So spiritual and physical together,
Hmm.
then I constantly evolved, and then it just kept happening.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a ripple effect in every area of your life. Once
Yeah.
you're in it, every aspect of your life is
Yeah.
sort of
How true you are to your cause is so important. And with so many turbulent times of managing and keeping the business afloat, because when you add centers after centers and franchisees not paying you on time, and of course gaps from my side also not supervising because
Yeah.
so much on the plate.
yeah.
So obviously ran into debts and had to shut down centers, and then reinvented the wheel and the format of the business.
Yes, absolutely.
And then of course today we are doing very well.
yeah. Yeah. It's
Just-
evident.
It's evident. Launched an app. My daughter, she
Yeah.
did a master's in tech in US, and she said, "Come on, you're wasting your brand."
Right.
She used the word, and I'd never heard this word OG.
Yeah. Original.
Yeah, I just heard OG.
It's the Gen Z
yeah,
world.
Loji, Sunoji.
Yeah.
So I said, "What's OG?" Say, "You are the original guy."
yes, you are.
You know what happened? Thankfully, she didn't know who Mickey Mehta was. She knew her father. But in the COVID times, I did almost 300, online webinars, podcasts, news interviews, and I didn't know jack shit about how to switch on the computer and get on the Zoom call. So she was there, my bakra. So first few times she was boring, sleeping away. Then she said, "Boss,
yeah.
I'm seeing the others and I'm hearing you. We have to do something."
Yeah.
So we started talking. Post COVID, we met up with a few people. And then she said, "Okay, I'm starting a web app."
Yeah.
So now it's antar.digital.
Amazing. Congratulations
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
And I
thank
think you're
you.
using the Gen Z, the skills and the talents, because these guys are just amazing. The way they work is so different from the way
So
we
different.
work. And the entire culture is completely different. And they understand things better than we do.
Yeah.
Every aspect, business, technology, everything. So, coming to my next question, you spoke about the debts, the challenges you faced.
Yeah.
But did you actually, had a time where you felt that you wanted to give up? Did something break you? Did something make you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what next? And everything seems like it's over.
Okay. No, the give up point was never there. But trying points were there. And my best go-to places were seasides. So I remember Priyadarshini Park, Marine Drive, Joggers Park, in the worst of lows. But I knew that extraordinary are those who know there is something within them which is superior to circumstance. And I knew the turnaround would happen, and nature is far larger than what we can think it is. I was always bewildered that how does coconut water so sweet climb up 200 feet? How does rose so fragile is yet so beautiful and smells so good? Sitafal, if you see custard apple, feels so rough from outside, but extremely delicious from inside.
Sweet and soft.
So bewildered with nature and in deep epistemological humility that miracles keep happening. So one fine day, it has just so happened, I think I was training Yuktamukhi at Joggers Park, and I was training her for Miss World.
Right.
Her Miss India training was done. She was declared, the Miss World, Miss India. And I got a call from, say, hello, is that Mickey Mehta? Yes, I'm calling from Kumar Mangalam Birla's office. I said, yes, how may I help you? He would like to meet you. So things changed.
And that's how you became a celebrity,
Yeah.
holistic fitness health guru.
Yeah. I mean, before that also, I was training Mrs. Neeta Ambani. I used to train Femina Miss Indias.
Yeah.
And while the whole big crescendo of Femina Miss India happened, like Priyanka Chopra, Lara Datta, and all these people, Yuktamukhi, Dinah Hayden, so many Bollywood film stars would approach, and but my prices were very, very high, prohibitively high. You know why? Because I knew what I was offering. I was offering a game-changing solution, holistic health. Literally 45 years ago, the word holistic was around, but health was added by me.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I would probably feel that I was the first one to do it in the world.
Wow.
Literally. And I brought breath into action. I brought movement outside of yoga into action. I said weight training is so basic.
Right.
I said let's have multi-dimensional functional training.
Right.
So calisthenics was the then go-to thing. Trampoline was the then go-to thing. But functional was my idea.
Right. And functional wasn't existent then.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard of functional just about
So going
a
beyond
decade
yoga.
back. Yeah.
But then I said, okay, functional doesn't give solutions for refining the kidney, glycogen management of the liver, insulin management of the pancreas. So going back to yoga. Because yoga gives solution. Weight training doesn't give you solutions of that kind.
Yeah. Of course not. You can weight train, you'll feel strong, but there's something that will always, you'll yearn to kind of move in a flow, which yoga makes you do. So it's my
Absolutely.
own personal story. I've been doing weight training for like 1 year now. The last whole year I was doing weight training, and suddenly my body is now craving for yoga. I've always been a yoga girl. I love weight training. I like a balance of movement. But I just told my trainer, I said, you know what, I need a break. I need to get back to yoga. My body is craving asanas, breath work, meditation, just being in the flow, being on the mat. I think that's what my body is craving for, and I need to go back to that. So yoga always has something that, I think something for everyone. And I know people do find yoga boring. I'm sure you must have come across a lot of clients who say, I find yoga so boring.
Yeah, for those who don't go through the experiential transformation, they will find yoga boring. For those who are in the moment, then yoga has redefined wellness today. The likes of Joe Dispenza, they are talking about the medicine of consonance, the medicines of coherence, the medicines of resonance, bioconsonance. Now, these are the new buzzwords, but which yoga always spoke about 8,000-10,000 years ago. They spoke about the unison, the oneness. They spoke about the vibratory frequency. They spoke about the electrical charges coming out of your body and brain. They spoke about the electromagnetic field. So today, quantum physics is using different terminology, but it's the same thing what yoga takes you to. You transcend dimensions outside of you, and you get to the abyss within you, which is why my name is called Antar. It is the inside of you where you get reoriented, reorganized, recharged, reset, and you can distinguish, you can discern, and you can trigger. Your endocrine system typically needs no activity for trigger, it needs passivity for trigger.
Yes.
So निष्क्रिय होके कैसे क्रिया करना,
Yes.
वो योग की एक बहुत अच्छी खूबी है.
Yes, absolutely. And I would also like to know, is there one advice you would like to give somebody who's starting off in the health and wellness space? There are a lot of nutritionists, coaches, trainers. Some piece of advice that can actually help them embark on their journey and learn from your experience.
बिल्कुल. So, like I tell the medical doctors when I address them, that you're not a doctor, you are a healer. And once you have that in your awareness, then you'll become more empathetic. You'll become more compassionate. You will not work like a clock.
Yeah.
You will not see a human body frozen in time and space. You will see a human self, fluid and dynamic, subject to change. Then you will see a person and not a body. And when you begin to see a person, you will deal with him at the level of the personality that he is. Then you will begin to see the flaws of the person. So you will be able to see pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth, which translates into the state called dis-ease, and that becomes an ailment. And when you begin to see that, then you will treat a person and not a body.
Yes.
Which is why in Ayurveda, naturopathy and homeopathy, what we do with our terminally ill people and the most challenging multi-ailment problems, we look at their angst, we look at their irritability, we look at their patience quotient, we look at their compassion quotient, we look at their creativity, we look at restlessness, and then say we need to treat this first.
Yes.
Of course, we give artisan medicines to all of them, which means we don't treat the symptoms, but we treat the core causes of the diseases.
Right. They say, don't treat the symptom, treat the person as a whole.
Person as a whole.
Yes. And I think also as a health coach or as a wellness propagator or a fitness coach or any person in the wellness space, I think your intention matters the most.
Integrity and intention. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you go with the intention of making money, then that's the only thing that you're looking for. But if you really go with the intention, or you work with the intention of giving absolute fantastic results to your clients and wishing well for them and seeing them transform and change, I think that is the biggest thing a health coach or a health expert can work on. Is set your intention right.
Absolutely.
And then the money follows, the fame follows, the name follows, everything follows if your intention is right.
I've walked out of billionaires meetings and superstar meetings and ultra high net worth individual meetings if they don't respect my time, my talent, and what I have to bring on table.
Absolutely.
I want to break this story maybe for the second time. The two super guys, one is Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, 4 meetings and 4 times trying hard to negotiate. And, people call him as a great investor. I said, no, he wasn't a great. He didn't have a vision because he didn't invest in his own wellness. Then it was my juvenile behavior, my immature, that behavior. Aditya Chopra had called me during Mohabbatein.
Yeah.
I think that was his first debut direction. And Manish Malhotra picked me up because we did Femina Messenger together. And I had a very newfound success story with Dinah Hayden then. So he took me to, Yash Chopra's house, Yash Ji's house, and met up Aditya and met up, I think, those 6 youngsters. But met them and we discussed, and I said, okay. He spoke about a price, and Aditya said, yes, we'll go and meet Dad in the afternoon. So we went and met Mr. Yash Chopra. Yash Chopra ji said, pagal ho gaya ho? Akhade ka itna paisa hota hai kya?
That was the mindset, I think.
That was the mindset. And I said, sir, मैं सांस की क्रिया से उनके रवैये को चेंज करूंगा, उनके तेवर को बदलूंगा, उनके आउटलुक को बदलूंगा. Then I said कि ध्यान और साधना के साथ मैं उनको स्थिरता में लेके आऊंगा, मैं उनको विनम्र बनाऊंगा, मैं उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. I said, ठीक है, I will sculpt the bodies the way you want, but I will not start with sculpting. I will start with the biochemistry.
Right.
I will start with empathy, care, sympathy, and I'll get them settled in the center from chasing the circumference. इससे वो क्या होता है? वो एक्सरसाइज करनी है यार. I said, sir, मुझे करने दीजिए काम. Then he said, ठीक है, अगर if everything goes well, I'll pay you. I said, नहीं होगा सर ऐसे. अरे शाहरुख और शामक मुझे रिफ्यूज नहीं, वो पैसे नहीं मांगते मुझसे. सर उनको जरूरत नहीं होगी, मुझे पैसों की बहुत जरूरत है.
So, do you ever repent?
I regret.
That you,
Yeah. I regret. I failed to see the magnum opus Yash Chopra that he was. I knew his success story, of course, but I should have not done that.
Yeah.
Because he was a veteran, no?
He was a veteran.
I should have bowed and said, sir जी आपको जो ठीक लगे कर देना.
Yeah.
He said, बड़े पर्दे पे आपका नाम होगा. तो मैं बोला, सर पहले पैसे दो.
Yeah. But also in a way, you stood by your integrity and you sort of stood for yourself.
At the same time,
Yes.
at my centers, it was very clear that 12 in the afternoon to 4 in the evening, all those who couldn't afford at all were not charged a dime. We never embarrassed them. We never made them feel awkward.
Wow.
In fact, I told my guys, give them more attention and service.
Wow.
Treat them with more respect and regard. Don't discriminate, don't distinguish.
So true spirituality is actually seva.
And today
that's
also,
what you were doing.
today also, people are literally shit scared to even pick up the phone and call me. But I speak to anybody who calls me. I speak to them.
I've seen that.
And I said, okay, listen, this is what I charge. But if you can't, I'll give you free advice as much as you want on phone. Done? Then, and if you want to for a challenging consultation for your parents or yourself, come home, I won't charge you.
Right.
Come home at 6 in the morning. So literally a 6:30 window until 8:30, I see people and I don't charge them.
Very nice. That's
Then if
such
they
a noble
can't,
thing to do.
no, it's not noble. It's just being simple. It's like Salman.
Yeah.
Being human. Whatever he's doing from his heart.
Yeah.
He's doing because the guy that he is.
Yes.
So there are dimensions and nuances to his personality.
Yeah.
And why do we look at that? Look at what he is internally. He has probably become, his defense mechanism makes him project the persona that he is not. But once his defense mechanism is dropped,
He's a softie.
he's a wonderful human being.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So coming to the point that we also give them medicines from our pocket.
How sweet.
So because we have doctors who also do gratis service के भाई इससे नहीं कमाएंगे और उसको नहीं छोड़ेंगे.
हाँ.
हाँ, जो मल्टी मिलियनर है उसको नो कॉम्प्रोमाइज. सॉरी, यू कैन पे, बट इफ यू से कि हाँ मैं दिवालिया हो गया हूँ, नहीं है, तकलीफ है, लिख के दे दो. I purposely make it difficult for them. But simple people come and do like this, I can find, and I say, come, I hug them, kiss them. I said, let's start.
Yeah.
And as much possible we do. In fact, we work with Mumbai Police Lady Constables through Divyaj Foundation, Amrita Ji Fadnavis's foundation. We worked with BMC sweepers. We worked with BMC school children, and we launched a program. Amrita Ji launched a program called Mitti Ke Sitare. We trained them. It was such a pleasure doing work for such people.
And I think giving gives you joy like no other. So when you give
Absolutely.
without expectation, it's just you sleep in peace.
Yeah.
Your soul is resting in peace every night.
Deep sleep.
Absolutely.
Happy sleep.
Yeah.
It's a healing sleep.
It's a healing sleep, yes.
So I have friends on Signals for the last 30, 40 years, ever since I've had a car. So my first car was in 1988.
Okay.
So ever since I've had a car, I've had friends on all the Signals, and some of them have died, some of them have children, some of them have grandchildren, and I like to connect with them.
Yeah, of course.
And there are 2 such people or 3 such people who I know who've met with accidents and lost their limbs and lost their vocal cords. And I like to just see them cheer. And I said, when I was in deaths, I was thinking, oh my God, the earth is on my head. But when I look at them, I say, there is still that open sky of opportunities, which these guys don't have.
Yes.
And then it makes my day so light. And I say, thank you, the divine, for exposing me to these circumstances. And then I go back with enthusiasm and optimism once again. So once again, the old Darshan Shastra, the philosophy of miracles happening, comes to fore. That circumstances can create great feelings.
Yeah.
It's normal. But imagine great feelings and create the circumstance.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So this is what yoga is all about. So this is about swikriti, acceptance, samarpan, submissiveness, out of choice and grace,
Yes.
not out of no choice.
Yes.
So swikriti, samarpan, then you will get vishwa samarthan, which means nature, puri kainat lag jayegi.
Yes.
Then you become samarth, all potential. Then you become saksham, all capable.
Yeah.
Then you have sankalpa, determination. Then you'll have siddhi, all power to make it happen. Then you'll have samruddhi, abundance.
Yes. Yeah, like Sister Shivani, I think rightly says, Sankalp se Shrishti.
Sankalp se.
What is within is what will manifest outside.
So when she launched that,
yeah.
I was the part of those 50 coaches she had picked up worldwide to speak 2 minutes on each. So she came to all of us.
Yeah.
And I had my 2 minutes of glory sharing the screen space with her.
Yes.
I'm a great fan of Brahma Kumaris.
Yes.
I've served them in parts and parcels, and they're doing a great job.
So before we move on to the next segment, I quickly want to give a big shout out to our very generous sponsors for this season, Urban Platter, and I totally love their products because they make some amazing, fantastic, genuine health products. So shifting gears a bit now, I want to know about your mom's cancer reversal story. I remember you mentioning to me once that she had stage 4 cancer. She was terminally ill.
Yes.
And that was 20 years back.
24 years back, yeah.
And she's still
Alive.
living a normal, healthy life.
Completely. No medicines.
Please tell us about that, because I think the world needs to know about such stories, especially when we live in a time and age where diseases have been so normalized. And, you know, age ke saath to disease aati hai, bimar to hona hi hai, that's become a norm, which shouldn't be, because our body is never meant to go through disease.
Yeah.
If it's in a state of balance.
Yeah.
So how did you, first of all, process your mom's information? Because as a family, also it's a big jolt when you hear such,
True.
you know, information about your family members going through such fatal conditions. And how did you work with her towards her healing journey?
So me and my sister, we are eternal optimists, and so was my father. Actually, we got it from him. And when we heard about it, we were not shaken up at all. I said, ठीक है ना, ठीक कर देंगे. How we didn't know.
Acha.
But it was in the attitude. Optimism has to be there in your attitude. The why and the how follows later. I always tell people, never ask why, ask why not. Because when you say why not, everything becomes possible. Okay, so we said fine. What needs to be done? So I was that big deal holistic health guru. And then I said, oh my God, back against the wall.
Yeah.
Where is the holistic health guru gone now?
Yeah.
Having started in 1980, being called by the media holistic health guru, I said, now this is my challenge. Not to grow and become a hero in my field, but first make sure that how do I sort and solve and dissolve her cancer. So then I started looking up, and there were no big digital platforms
There was
then.
nothing then, yeah.
I got introduced to many people in homeopathy, naturopathy, Ayurveda, and I said, okay, I started doing small. I started reading up a lot. And my sister is also into healing business, but she's into complete spiritual, Reiki, pranic healing, and meditation and all that. So I said, okay, we both put our forces together, and I started into herbs, bringing herbs in place. So we got Punarnava, Dashamula Rishta, Neem, Brahmi, Ashwagandha, Silajit, and we aloe vera, Barbadennis Miller. So aloe vera, Barbadennis Miller is superb.
Okay.
We literally got Giloy also then. Giloy was made very popular by Baba Ramdev later.
Right.
And there are hundreds such herbs, but you have to see what suits who. Then speaking to many Ayurveda doctors, there was one genius Ayurveda doctor I came across. His name is Dr. Omkar Bilgi, who's been my doctor for 25 years now. So then I started understanding the premise and the anatomy of a disease versus the anatomy of the persona.
Right.
And bringing them together. And today what we do with challenging cases, even then I started with my mom, personality specific then gender specific, then age specific, then medical condition specific, then objective specific, and lastly, blood group specific and environmental specific. Can you imagine? Ayurveda goes that deep.
Yes, yes.
So we started that, and we went ahead with the surgery. Doctor said with and without surgery, no chance.
Yeah.
But if you go through the surgery, she might live for 6 more months. But there is a chance that on the surgery table, she may not survive. Those days, PET scan wasn't so advanced.
Right.
I think it's called positron emission tomography. So 20 years back, they didn't have such great multidimensional insights. So I said, let's do it. So doctor said that when I open her up, I'll know what's the
exact
metastasis,
scenario.
how deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Opened, and within 2 hours he came outside. He said, listen, I'll have to clean her up so much that she may not withstand the surgery on the table. I said, do it.
Oh.
I said, what would you do had it been your mother? I said, I would do it. I said, me and my sister are here. We were spiritually protecting her, and we created a spiritual shield.
Wow.
And we were imagining what was happening inside. So do it. We are with you. And after 6 hours, he came out and he's saying, we cut off the duodenum, the gallbladder, the pancreas, 80% of the stomach, 6 out of 8 lymph nodes which are in the stomach area.
Oh my God.
And we've stitched her up. Let's see when she comes back to senses. She came back. Then, instead of keeping her at the hospital for 15 days, Parsi General Hospital, only for Parsis, has huge gardens, breach candies, sea face, huge gardens, hundreds of years trees and lawns and flowers.
Yeah.
I started wheeling her out every day, put her in the sun. Evening, put her in the sun. Got family to come and chat and talk and laugh, and we made her forget about cancer.
Yes.
So the memory of cancer needs to be severed emotionally also.
Yes, yes.
Then she used to live in a house which was very small, and the big turnaround had happened in my life. That I was charging mega bucks for my training with my
Services.
team.
Yeah.
Started making money, and God has been kind.
Yeah.
And there was this one lady who's been like a godmother, and she's an absolute pure clean Devi, this Mrs. Rajeshri Birla. And when I needed a lot of money, she just kept giving me advances and advances.
Wow.
My eyes have become moist, and she was just there and rock steady. Even when my daughter went to school, she was there. She went to America. So Kumar Mangalam Birla and Mrs. Rajeshri Birla, I'm speaking for the first time, that they were there rock steady. And we sailed through.
Yes.
And so I kept her in the hospital for 45 days, much against the 10-day norm.
Right.
I said the whole rehab has to first happen in the environment. And I used to live in a dungeon house, and Mrs. Birla supported me to buy a small house at Bridgecamp, Nepean Road.
So God sends you his angels in
Yeah.
many forms.
Yeah. And then, so it took me 3 months to do up that house, even the basic. I said 3 months my mother will stay there in the hospital. So we literally kept her in the hospital for 3 months.
Wow.
And then we moved her into a new environment. Can you imagine in that new ground floor house on Nepean Road, Hillock? It's a Parsi trust property.
Right.
It's called Godrej Bagh. And that particular new building, new flat was untouched. Nobody bought that for years because it was being used as a godown. And no sooner I entered the house, I got the stench of the
The
logged,
stale stuff.
overflowing bathroom because the Malis and all the people were using it. But what I saw, I didn't see the spot on the moon. I saw the moon. I saw there was a window, and behind the window, there was a gutter flowing. So I said, I'll open up the window, make it a door, turn the gutter into garden.
Wow.
And because of which nobody was buying that house, so it was sitting there for me and for my mother.
Wow.
So I got that house. We did it up in 90 days. But I gave a big garden to her. And we moved her there. And she forgot. The memory of cancer has to be severed from the day-to-day living, from the environment, and from the food that promotes it, from the breath that you don't take that promotes it,
Yes.
from the rest that you don't get that promotes it, and from all your pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth. So your
Absolutely.
irritability, your angst, your frustrations also feed that.
Yes.
So we change the environment, and morning to evening, I created a team of people. So some would do Anulom Vilom, some would do oil massage, some would do Nasyam, some would do Abhyangam. Literally, her business had become wellness.
So basically, she had an army for her self-care, and that actually helped her heal.
And that became my next business model.
Absolutely. Amazing. So see,
A
even
team
that,
of people looking after a particular patient or a family. Earlier, I used to go alone. Now we have raga singers. Now we have somebody who talks to them about Bhagavad Gita or Quran and brings them into the fold of spiritual, emotional, mental realizations. Make them cry, make them flow.
Yeah.
The iced, strong emotions have to thaw,
yes.
and the disease is dissolved.
Yeah.
So this is, it is actually opposite of ease of your being a person. So I always say, death has no right on human life. Death is the culmination of diseases, and diseases are the culmination of your choices.
Absolutely.
We can live eternally if we wish to.
Yes.
Should we look at yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyan, dharana, samadhi, which will translate into neutralizing kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madmaya, matsara, which will stop the feed to our kleshas, which is avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. And the ladder of evolution starts from being a victim and vulnerable to the forces of entropy, time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect, to coming on the evolution of the ladder of constant sanatan dharma shaswata, which means the eternity of time immemorial. The reference of your therapy should be towards the soul, jiva atma, and not towards the body. So once the reference from the body changes to the software,
Yeah.
everything changes.
Absolutely. And I believe God has these leelas. कहते हैं ना भगवान की अपनी
बिल्कुल.
leelas होती. So he did something in your life that taught you so much, that to first hand with your mom, and then you could heal so many more people in the world. So you just probably had to go through it. It
Absolutely.
was a series of events for you to get here where you are.
And I'm not a medical doctor, and I never dispense or write
yeah, of
medicines
course.
for people. But I have doctors now working for me.
Yes.
And even when I speak to an onco surgeon or an onco specialist, I tell them certain things and they're shocked. Because there is something in Ayurveda called virodahar. Doctors don't know. जो मन में आए खाओ, vitality बढ़ाओ. अरे patient vomit कर रहा है,
Yes.
संडास कर रहा है.
Yes.
And doctors are saying that.
So this is exactly happening. So an aunt of mine has been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer, and this is exactly what the doctors have told her. And I was so angry and so upset. I was like, how? And I was so disappointed because I was like, how can doctors tell you eat everything? Now, talking about eating everything, I want to touch upon dairy.
Yeah.
You know how dairy is today and what is happening with the dairy industry today.
We are proud.
So we are very proud of what we've done, and our belief system has actually got us to join hands to give rise to a product called Yoga Tea,
Yoga tea.
which is dairy free cashew yogurt that is all about clean, vegan, preservative free yogurt that helps people consume dahi but without all the hormones and toxins that is
Absolutely.
there in the dairy, the conventional dairy that we get today. And you can make everything out of it. Your raita, your chas, your curry.
Lassi, the thing I love the
Lassi,
most.
Yeah. But I also want to understand from you, do you believe that dairy is one thing that should be eliminated from a cancer patient's diet?
Very much. You know, my whole training and orientation in 1980, I went through this nutrition program with Dr. Kavita Mukhi and Dr. Vijaya Venkat.
Yeah.
They were the first crusaders of veganism in India. And they brought about the whole aspect of Vedic science and naturopathy. And also the ethical side and the scientific side.
Yeah.
So 60s was the advent of hormones and antibiotics given to the animals. And they read that in late 70s and they came to India and whatever. They read books. And they said that dairy is the new poison.
Yes.
They explained to us why. And it was an eye-opener.
Absolutely.
So I have come to a conclusion that very rarely you will find milk, ghee, chash, dahi, which comes from a cow or a buffalo which is not abused.
Absolutely.
So let's say 99% the abuse is prevalent. The animals are forced to yield much more than their capacity. Their calves are deprived. They are kept in very negative conditions, full of proliferation of germs, diseases and bacteria and puddles and literally gutters running by.
Yes.
And flies running around. They are chained, so they are distressed mentally, emotionally. And then machines, then the udders, they bleed,
Yeah.
then they get inflamed, then they get
Absolutely.
septic, so they get more medicines.
And to top it all, it's their emotions.
Absolutely.
We are all
And
about
taken
our
away from
emotions.
families.
There's
So,
so much grief and pain.
so much
at
of grief
that
and pain.
How is that not going to transcend into our milk? How is that not going to,
you know,
become a part of our body? Because food is energy. And
Very
And
much.
it's not about the nutrients per se that's in the food.
Vibratory
It's about the
frequency.
vibration and the prana and the energy. So I also always tell my clients as a vegan, it's not that I try to make everyone a vegan, but definitely I try telling my clients about the emotional pain and the emotional distress that the animal goes through when when they're being treated the way they're being treated, and that becomes a part of the dairy products that they're consuming,
Einstein.
and how that affects their emotional state.
Yeah, Einstein came up with a theory supporting the metaphysical dimension of science of transformation. The pain wave theory of Einstein. Look up.
Yeah, okay.
He says the collective pain of the animal kingdom is good enough to dent the atmosphere, the environment, and bring about catastrophic events through weathers, volcanoes, forest
Wow.
fires.
Wow. Yes, because they are speechless beings, and if we
But
treat
emotions-
them, yeah, they have their emotions,
So
but they're
pain,
speechless.
yes.
They can't express their pain. But
There were experiments conducted that somewhere in Russia, that a mother rabbit was 80 miles away and the child rabbit, baby rabbit, was away in a laboratory. Both were laboratory controlled conditions. No sooner the scalpel went close to the throat, didn't even touch the baby rabbit, the mother rabbit's heart fluttered.
oh my god.
Can you imagine?
So they feel the same emotions as we do, and
Absolutely.
just that they can't express, but they go through the pain, they go through the trauma,
So-
and we consume that energy. How is that even good for us in
Correct.
any
And it gets
way?
imprinted into our thought, word, behavior, attitude,
And genetic.
and genetics.
Yeah.
So we say that most people who eat gross amount of meat, they are bound to be extremely temperamental.
Aggressive.
They are bound to be violent. They are bound to be really aggressive,
Yeah.
irritable. They are bound to have emotions of jealousy. They are bound to have emotions of extreme arrogance and pride.
Yeah.
There will be good sides to them,
Absolutely. We all
but because
have.
of the constant feeding of that,
Yeah.
if they don't otherwise balance it with yoga, breath, and neutralize it with the other goodies
Yes.
of greens,
Yes.
okay, phytonutrients, micronutrients, natural food, if they don't neutralize it, they don't balance it,
Yeah.
this will keep growing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, coming to my most important question, how do you maintain this incredible energy and vitality that we see you every day with? And what's your secret for looking so young? And what is it that we can do to sort of reverse aging?
So fundamentally, once again, dynamic breathing,
Yeah.
then passive, relaxed, rhythmic breathing, because you have to be like a clock, oscillate from left to right and right to left,
Right.
from activity to passivity and passivity to activity. The stillness and the silence and the sound of the soundless of meditation, now that also nourishes you. So food nourishes you at number 10. So breath nourishes you. When you take sunlight on your pineal gland in the morning,
Yeah.
there's release of serotonin. Of course, with moonlight comes melatonin.
Yes.
The whole circadian rhythm responds and reacts
Yes.
to the electromagnetic field and the polarities
Yes.
and the shift of the axis of the earth at various times.
Yeah.
It is said that after 4 o'clock, you shouldn't do any dynamic activity of physicality and mental and emotional because your sleep will be destroyed. You'll be in the state of dis-ease, disorder, degeneration, disintegration, decay, and death.
Yes.
So
So honor your circadian rhythm.
yeah, honor that. So breath,
Yeah.
then my movements. So I've started learning gymnastics. Next, I want to immediately learn is parkour. So I like to do monkey business, jumping around.
Yes.
I like to do my pull-ups. I like to do my parallel bar.
Yes.
I like to do my handstands.
Right.
I like to get into my chakrasana, my dhanurasana. You know, so yoga typically is not yoga as in body postures.
Yeah, just
flow
asanas, as
yoga.
we always know.
Yeah,
Right?
you know, cat
Yes.
position, cow position, downward dog position. Hello, please go beyond.
Yes.
Yoga is all about confluence of energies which get harmonized. Ganga comes from here, Yamuna comes from here, and together they meet at a point of confluence at Prayagraj, and Saraswati is born. So yoga births new cellular being.
Wow.
Yoga births new thoughts, new ideas. And when your blood and your breath move together in yoga,
Yes.
then in that flow,
Okay.
you neutralize your character, your personality, and the newness of your character and personality happens. So empathy, sympathy, care, compassion, intuition, foresights, insights is what you get with sitting and doing nothing.
Yes.
People see, oh my God, nothing is happening, but lots is happening.
Yes.
Then yoga is also your geometry, becoming one with the sacred geometry. When you become Tarasan, the attributes of a palm tree come into you.
Yes.
When you become, Parvatasan,
Yes.
the Parvat, the strength of the mountain becomes you. When you do Dhanurasan, the ability of the bow to align for the trajectory, for the impetus, and for the mark, and the single-minded focus, laser-sharp focus, becomes you. When you sit in Padmasan, you become lotus-like.
Yeah.
जैसे किचन में कमल की भांति. So yoga is way beyond. Then yoga is about prefrontal cortex consonance. Yoga is about resonance, limbic resonance. And yoga is much more than what we think yoga is.
Yes.
So I do all that.
Absolutely.
Then I love my fruits. So my morning is first ghee, chawanprash, herbs, herbal teas.
Yeah.
Then my workouts, then my meals, then my writing work, then my fruits. So my pomegranate, my muskmelon, my honeydew melon,
Yes.
my maltas,
Yes.
malta oranges, and different seasonal fruit every day.
Yes.
Then
I
lunch.
love my fruits too. It's
Then evening, I have sugarcane juice with mosambi mix, sugarcane juice with pineapple mix,
Wow.
sugarcane juice with orange mix. What dynamic flavors come out of it. And what dynamic confluence of vitality that goes. Then I love my nuts with my meals. I like my masala kaju.
yeah.
I like my pistachios. I like my chilguza.
Let me give you
pine
something
nuts.
right now. Since you said you like nuts,
क्या है मखाना?
these are urban platter macadamia nuts.
Macadamia.
Yes.
So very good. Macadamia nuts are in particularly are very good for your bones and to build muscle strength. Plant-based protein is good. And may I?
Yes, please. They're salted. Delicious,
Brilliant.
right?
I love my dates. I like ajwa dates from Saudi Arabia. I like my batil dates. Brilliant. And then, of course, I like farsan. I like chuda. Now,
Why not?
these are my...
Why not?
I like my vadas and bhajiyas. I love pani puri.
But like you rightly said, you can have all of this provided you have a sort of balance in your life and you're doing all the other things right. And there's a sense of, amalgamation of yoga, good sleep, movement, positive mindset, still mind.
Yeah.
All of that is super important to.
And most important, be a hardcore, compassionate, lovable and loving human being.
Yeah.
Once that happens to you, you become a healer by default.
Yeah, that's true. And your energy starts healing people then.
Yeah.
It's not you doing the work. It's you entering the room and changing the complete space energy with your own energy. And I think that is what one needs to work on.
You know, while I went through my financial troubles, There was a time I was constipated, and because of that, I got hemorrhoids. And I bled for 10 years because I didn't want to stay away for 15 days on a hospital bed.
Obviously, yeah.
There was so much on my head. I used to live at Mahim, and we used to have a doctor called Dr. Vinay Joshi. He used to have a nasal voice. And each time my hemorrhoids would come out, pushing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to be sore and arrested in bed for 2-3 days. And you say, don't worry, man. I'm coming, man. It just means like, his voice that, don't worry, man. I'm coming, man. He's coming. And I used to feel so good.
Yeah.
So, that just feeling that somebody is there for you.
Exactly.
And somebody is on the way. This information changes the biochemistry.
Yeah, because that's your belief system. You believe that that person is going to heal you and something within you starts changing inside.
Absolutely.
But it's not that person healing you. It's your own belief system.
Yes.
And your body's wisdom.
And the knowledge, that information.
Exactly. That is helping you heal and feel better.
Yeah. So guys, you must read Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief. Of course, Deepak Chopra wrote about the nuances of it ages ago, like how Rhonda Byrne ran away with the success of Secret. But 7 Spiritual Laws of Success written by Deepak Chopra in 91 or 92, The Secret is just a copy-paste. But the packaging of Secret was genius.
Yeah. But Secret also in a lot of its ways is incomplete. They say it's not.
Yeah, of course.
They have a lot of things and parts missing.
Very true.
From the universal laws and the aspects
because
that
they've made it superficial and
yeah.
circumference level work. They haven't gone in depth into spirituality.
Yeah.
So you know what sells today? Success sells.
Yeah.
So biology of belief, like Bruce Lipton says, your belief can change your biology. I say your breath can change your hormonology.
Of course, it can.
Meditation can change your emotions and psychology. Typically. And what is manifestation? So manifestation of the intellect.
Yeah.
Okay. Put attention to the field, you energize it. Put intention to the field, you'll transform it.
Yeah.
Determine, and it will happen. Now the meditation of the spiritual guy. Put your faith at test. Allow the manifester to manifest.
Surrender, faith and surrender.
Submissive.
That is, I think...
Nothing can take you away from your desires.
Absolutely.
But you have your desires. So Deepak Chopra wrote these wonderful lines in one of his books that seed your desires on the banks of time and wait for the right season for them to turn into beautiful gardens, orchards and forests.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And we've always heard about it. Sabra, Shukra.
Shraddha Saburi.
Shraddha Saburi.
Sai Baba.
Sai Baba. Absolutely. And it's always faith and surrender. Put your faith in it. And surrender is the most important. If you put your faith and then you control everything, it's out of your hands. But you put faith and stop controlling, the right things in divine timing will manifest in your life. There is no other way.
Bilkul.
It's beautiful. So Mickey, I want to know, since you're working with cancer patients very closely and you help them reverse cancer, what are the top things that you would recommend someone who's battling with cancer right now so that they can work on their reversal journey?
So first of all, don't be scared of cancer. One can be very creative with cancer. No matter what stage it is the body's normal memory of evolution and regeneration gone bizarre. All we need to do is bring that equilibrium back, because of which there is an accelerated, ungoverned growth of cells which crowd organs or a particular organ and suffocates it to death. Now this continues because we feed it. So we have to stop the feed. The first thing first, stillness in life. Stop everything that you're doing in life and just be. Don't run around. So settle, don't circle. Number 2, because when you settle, your breath will come into rhythm and harmony. And most importantly, you begin to get reoriented, reorganized. Number 3, don't feed it with irritation, anger, and any negative emotions of resentments and disgruntled being and frustrations, jealousy. Because that too feeds cancer cells. Number 4, cancer requires adequate rest for the reset to happen and the new cellular regeneration forming new memories. So rest well afternoon, night. The therapy is what we do is make a person vegetarian to begin with. We do a minimum 6 times a day. My different therapists go and make them do different kinds of breathing. Then we have 3 to 4 times scheduled massage for that person. So once it's abhyangam, second it's stretch with acupressure, fourth it's vibrations on the whole body, but depending on the constitution, etc. And fifth, it's just gently touching the body for the nervous system to feel good. Like how somebody tickles, you feel good. So right from head to ears to toe. We do all that. Then we start with panchakarma. So panchakarma, like we do basti, is like kind of anima, but not only for purging, but also to revitalize you, to remove the inflammation. So bastis we do best when the chemos are very harsh. So we neutralize the chemo very fast. And we increase the vitality because the bioavailability of the vital foods that go from backside is very high. When it goes to your stomach, 60 to 70% gets ruined because of the acid in your stomach. And most importantly, we pray to them, we chant to them, we play music to them. I have raga healers who go to them. I have Bhagavad philosophical trainers who go to them and give them perspective management. So we do so much. Then we integrate the family for laughter. Then we start doing sankalpas. कि हम छुट्टी पे जाएंगे, हम उसकी शादी धूमधाम से करेंगे, पोते पोती के साथ हम ट्रैकिंग करेंगे. सो व्हेन अ पेशेंट सेज कि 6 महीने के बाद मैं मेरे बच्चों के साथ, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन के साथ मैं ट्रैकिंग करूंगा. नाउ दैट इंफॉर्मेशन गोइंग इनसाइड द बॉडी spikes up your energy level. It brings about endorphins going up, circulation going up, and your heart rhythm going up, your lungs breathing deeper, digestion getting better. Now that also helps. Now emotional upliftment improves immunity. There is a direct, it commensurates with that. So we do all that. But we bring in lots of laughter, because with laughter your diaphragmatic movement works up to 12 centimeters. And you empty your lungs. Your diaphragm moves up and down. And then you breathe easy. Your lungs, which are emptied. So we have 5 lobes of lungs. And very few people use more than 2 lobes. So I probably must be using 4.5 lobes of my lungs. But top athletes, they use 5 lobes of their lungs. So that determines the quality and saturation of oxygen and air, which determines your immunity and vitality. So what we do is that we increase the vitality with food, breath, massages, rest, meditation, sound, acupuncture, acupressure to such a great height, and herbs, that the disease will also peak, but peak and fall.
Right.
So in a boxing ring, it's not the who can beat the most wins. He who can take the maximum beating and stand wins.
Absolutely.
So we have to create a disease fatigue syndrome.
Wow. And lastly, I want to ask you your top 5 non-negotiables to look 10 years younger than your age and age gracefully.
Why just 10 years? We worked with octogenarians and also 90-year-old who have spasticity in bed and just cannot move. In 3 years' time, we've got them to sit, stand and walk 2 kilometers every day. So not just 10 years, you can reverse it by 30, 40, 50 years.
Wow. And how do you do that? Top 5 non-negotiables.
Okay. So a lot of conscious dynamic breathing. B, productive physical exercise cut out specifically for that constitution, lifestyle and medical concerns.
Okay.
C, lots of pampering, hot tubs, cold tubs, massages, and somewhere we use acupuncturing also and cupping also. 4, now my favorite, everybody's favorite, food.
Yes.
So food can be so delicious, yaar.
It can. Healthy food can be delicious.
I mean, can anybody beat the taste of pomegranate,
No.
dates, asparagus soup,
Yeah.
a nice grilled broccoli with garlic and ginger,
Macadamia.
macadamia nuts, pine nuts.
Yeah.
So great food and soups. Herbal teas can be made so tasty. I put jaggery in my herbal tea. I put ghee in my herbal tea. I put cinnamon in my herbal tea, saffron, and it becomes so delicious. So my favorite go-to herbal tea is tulsi mulethi. Then, of course, soups can be so delicious, and salads could be made so delicious
Absolutely.
with cranberry,
Yes.
raisins,
Yes, and a yoga tea dressing.
yogurty dressing, walnuts,
Yes.
and mushrooms could be made so delicious. Avocado. And people always say, "Arey, vegetarians mein there are no much varieties."
Yeah.
There are only 5 types of animal protein:
Yeah.
lamb, beef, fish, eggs, and let's say milk. But there are hundreds of vegetables, pulses,
Plants.
legumes, plants, roots,
Yes.
sweet potato, my favorite.
I love it too.
Have you eaten a galoti kebab made
Yes.
out of suran?
Yes, I've eaten
Yam?
roti kebab made out of mushrooms
Oh my God.
and rajma.
Rajma, I was just
Yeah,
going to tell
yeah.
you. They are so delicious.
Yes.
Even masoor,
Yes.
you can use, the lentils.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, although when I think about grills and animal protein, by my instincts I drool,
Yes.
but my conscious override I correct. Because you give me the best and the best, or give anybody the best of vegetarian food, they will not want to touch meat
And that's happened
later.
with my clients. That's actually happened, not because they wanted to turn vegan or I made them a vegan, but when I asked them to just go plant based for some time to heal their inflammation and correct their diseases, they actually came back telling me, Neha, I don't crave non veg anymore. Because plants are really that delicious that you don't crave meat. And plants also give you that vibration and the energy
Extremely.
that make you peaceful, calm, happy.
So what
relaxed.
happens when things grow in our soil? Why it is celebrated? Because for that year or 18 months, when we go through the process of harvesting it later, they experience the planetary movement for those years.
Right.
They take the best of the sun rays and absorb that energy. They also go through the moon phases and the tides and the planetary movement.
Yes.
And then the freshest of the air, purest of water from
water.
down, from top, and the
And
wisdom.
the microbes in the soil,
Superb. And
which
most
are
important,
life-giving and
and,
life-sustaining.
and they are witness to it all.
Yes,
So that experience translates into you, and that becomes wisdom.
absolutely. And what's your fifth point?
Be like a child forever. Do so much of masti.
Yes,
You can hide people's things, pull people's legs. I'm so much full of it.
yes, you are.
So much full of it. I'm so childlike, not childish. Okay,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm childish also.
That's fine.
But I'm so childlike.
Yeah.
And I love to, and in reality, I like to do monkey business. I like to do my tumble turns.
Yes.
I like to do my pulling and then tumbling there. I like to do my handstands. I'm trying to learn cartwheel and flips.
You're so right, because I feel we start aging faster when we start adulting too much and we stop behaving or honoring the child within us.
Absolutely.
And nurturing the child within us, which never dies. We always have the child instinct within us, and we enjoy with kids around us. We
Yeah.
become childlike with them
Yeah.
because that is a part of us. But in this whole adulting culture that we are in, we have to be prim and proper. We have to do it all right. We have to get it all right, speak right, wear right, do everything proper. I think we lose that childlike essence within
Innocence.
us.
Yeah. The playfulness.
Absolutely.
We're talking about age reversal. We've just launched a book with Dr. Ali Rani. It's called Physiog. Now that will become syllabus with most physiotherapy colleges. Now that book is talking about, as I said in the beginning, the medicine of consonance, the medicine of resonance, the medicine of coherence, the medicine of bioelectricity, the medicine of electromagnetic field energy. Now, when this becomes medicine, there is no age barrier. Then you can get a 90-year-old have equal energy of 19-year-old over 4 years, 5 years. Because there is a science of age reversal, that 7 days it takes for your stomach lining to change for new, 30 days it takes for your skin to change for new, 90 days it takes for your musculoskeletal structure to change for new, and 1 whole year for your whole being to change for new. Collagen cartilage may take 18 months sometimes.
Yeah.
Now this is the science in place. So life is eternal. सब कुछ शाश्वत है, सब कुछ सनातन है.
Yes. So with that, we are going to just get to our next rapid fire round. So if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Mango.
Okay. Your secret to a peaceful mind, coffee or meditation?
Meditation, but mostly meditation in hot tubs and jacuzzis.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to food?
Indian mithai.
Which
Pedas,
one?
pedas, kalakan, barfi.
Okay. If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go?
Amongst oceans, trees. But beyond that, there's a place called nowhere.
Yes. Wow. I think that's the...
Without just anything, shunyam, shant, zero,
Which is
dissolved.
what your book is about as well, the Shunyam Quotient.
Neutralized, completely neutralized.
And I think that's the purpose of every human life.
Absolutely.
One thing on your bucket list that is still unchecked.
Parajumping, paratrooping. Those are the things I want to do. Deep sea diving.
Wow. Okay. What's the one thing you love about yourself?
That I can love just about anyone and everyone, and I can hate no one. Now, this is so unique to me. I can have momentary
Dislike or
yeah, that's okay.
disappointment.
Momentary.
Yeah.
But eventually I just finished.
Yes,
It's over.
it fizzles out. Beautiful. Beautiful. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Get everybody to be happy, healed, and whole again.
Lovely. What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
A great massage. I take massages morning, evening. So great massage in the night. But I would like to have a hot tub, a big hot tub, or a great swimming pool.
Where in Bombay do we get that?
Well, I have friends and I have access to most clubs complimentary.
You're blessed.
I'm blessed.
If you had a theme song that played whenever you entered a room, what would it be?
The flute from Bombay, A.R. Rahman's.
Okay, lovely. What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
That I'm very funny. I can imitate and mimic very well. I could be the biggest mischievous person, and I know I'm extremely lovable and very dilpek.
So thank you, Mickey. This was fun and rapid as we wanted it. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of my podcast and being the first guest on my podcast.
Why not? You know, when I just walked in, and if you remember, when we spoke about manifestation, and I said that circumstances create feelings, but when you feel so strongly about something, you can create that circumstance.
Yeah.
So that feeling of healing
Yes.
is so good. And I always wrap up everything with my signature 10
Yes.
commandments.
Please go for it.
Okay, so 10 commandments of holistic health. Commandment number 1. Let wellness be the religion number 1, because wellness unites and religions divide. Number 2, we must all join a wellness revolution for human evolution and not for weight loss
Yes.
and age reversal, for God's sake.
Thank you for saying that.
Commandment number 3, the best exercise for strong biceps is to uplift the poor. Commandment number 4, the best exercise for strong shoulders is to take the responsibility of the underprivileged. Commandment number 5, the best exercise for strong legs is to be rooted in humility, to be better fruited in humanity. Commandment number 6, sleep every night with a wish to heal yourself and wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world. And then you can get energized, maximized, optimized, naturalized, internalized, eternalized, mesmerized, hypnotized, immunized, humanized, and with that healing feeling with Neha Ranglani, everyone gest Mickey-mized.
That was really sweet of you. And as a gesture of gratitude, I want to give you a beautiful hamper by Urban Platter.
I like gifts.
That is by Urban Platter, which is going to give you taste, health, and
Wisdom.
wisdom.